Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh man, welcome ladies and gentlemen to Reign, the after show here on AfterBuzz TV. If you haven't already done so, subscribe, youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV, over on iTunes, over on SoundCloud, over on many different platforms, all for free. All you gotta do is just type in Reign, AfterBuzz TV. You'll find us some way.
So easy. It's good stuff. Good show, good after show, I like to think.
That's right. No Keaton Markey today.
Unfortunately, no Keaton and no Fania as well.
We can't say that it's not Keaton's birthday because we celebrated a couple months ago.
We did.
However, it is Fania's birthday.
It is, and I know she
not quite today. Not quite today. Yeah, it's actually on Saturday, but she's having some fun. You know, the festivities start early. She's in Vegas, so
she took a week off, I believe.
So, you know, tweet at her, happy birthday.
Yeah. If you guys see her around in Vegas, too, anyone out there, any fans living in Vegas or celebrating other things.
Our former host, Megan Medic, is in Vegas. I believe they're going to meet up. So that'll be fun.
Nice, yeah. AfterBuzz party out there in Vegas.
And Megan Medic, if you don't remember her, at the Bow Wow Gal.
Boom,
and what's your Twitter? JB_Zimmerman.
Yes, yes.
All right.
Tag us in those birthday tweets.
That's right. And ABTV, hashtag ABTV Reign. We're talking about tonight's episode. We've got 3 more episodes left. Lots to discuss. First and foremost, right out of the way, I want to say, I can't believe I wasn't here for the Clarissa episode. She comes in, she's out, and I missed it.
I know. We had, like, predicted that almost every episode this season. She's coming back. She's coming back. And then she finally came back, and now she's gone.
Now she's gone. What are you going to do?
She came just as swiftly as she left.
But speaking of Clarissa, let's start with Bash, because here's a storyline where they're not quite divorced, but they're still we're headed that way. We're in rocky territory with Kenna, and the opening scene between them, fantastic.
Yes, yes, classic. As Keaton would say, Benna. Yeah, it was really interesting to see them sort of back together in a scene where there was sort of it wasn't completely dead. Bash had moved on, and I feel like Kenna always sort of wants what she can't have. She's just like that kind of character. So it was interesting to see her sort of feel bad about that. I mean, she had done so many things to kind of hurt Bash. It was interesting that she was sort of on the receiving end of it. Yeah, I mean, not for very long, obviously. She found someone new.
What I loved, you know, she says breasts, vagina. Yeah. Does this have a friend, any of those qualities? And the answer was yes.
Yep, to both.
To both. And it was just a funny moment. But I feel like, you know, Bash was lying not to hide anything from her, but to protect her. And so, while obviously it's not necessarily right, or I mean, I don't know. I don't know where I stand on this, because I want them together, and I don't like Kenna with potentially Renoir.
Yeah,
and I don't like Bash.
I mean, Bash is like one of the best bros in the whole damn show. So I'm Team Bash, obviously Team Bro. So I agree. I would want only the best for him. Even though it seems like his character has moved on completely to someone new, I'm not sure. They haven't confirmed it visually. Yeah. We know that he told Kenna about it. We've saw him being affectionate with her, sort of. She is very attractive, so there's that. This new girl. Plus, we saw Renault said he saw Bash leave into the woods, and he said that like he had this woman that he couldn't break, you know, couldn't go into the prostitution house because of. So there is all that. It's a lot of evidence, but until we see anything, I feel like
Bash is also, historically very easily distracted. Not because that he's forgetful or whatever. It's just he's got a lot of responsibilities more and more now. I mean, I want to hold off on Bash talking about the raid because that's obviously part of a much larger plot. But he got called into duty right away. They couldn't even have as nice a moment as it was in the beginning. It lasted for literally a minute, and then off to war, so to speak.
Yeah, in a way, maybe they do need just a little break. Not that I want them to split completely, because I'm with you. I would rather have them as like a unit. I thought they were great together. He has so many responsibilities that take him every direction. He is like the right-hand man to the king. He has to know everything that's going on. That's an incredible task to undertake, and like his responsibility list is miles long. So for him to spend like any time in one place is, a blessing. And obviously Kenna needs more attention, just because of who she is.
Here's what So let's focus on Kenna a bit because she's curious about this relationship at least, But I almost even beyond that, I found this sort of curiosity with, the power of women over men, and especially at this brothel. Because she's looking at it, she's like, so what is, he likes whips and chains, he likes what, and just, it's
this
almost...
guy wears a mask, don't worry about it.
Because we've looked at her as like the sexualized being that knows all, she read the book, remember when the book was like a thing? And the sexual exploits, and that's how we kind of find out about Narcisse.
The Reign shades of gray.
That's right. But here, she thought she knew a lot, and she goes into this underbelly, and she's fascinated by this. And I really think it's from the power perspective of what women can have over men.
It is. And, she's always been flirtatious, but she's always lived as a lady. She's been in these walls for most of her life, if not all of her life. So when she does go outside and she's in another nice place of comfort because it's her friend's house, but yet it's still this other world where she's intrigued by it. I mean, she's, very in touch with that side of her, or wants to be, and so I guess when she finds any outlet, it's interesting for her to explore.
Yeah. And what about her relationship with Renoir?
I mean, as much bad press as he's getting, sort of, or I guess his reputation's not very good in terms of.
He's a mercenary.
Being a mercenary, being a guy, like, just, power hungry guy that is very ambitious. There are good things about him. Obviously, he gets the job done. Bash respects that. But, his men are not always happy with him because he may have his own interests above, the group's. So it's interesting.
But it helped the group. I mean, essentially, if he does something good for a nobleman, I'm not going to argue whether or not it's right, but it sort of gets the whole group in with.
No, that's true. And honestly, I would have done the same thing if I was him in that position where there was like a noble boy or a king's whatever, a person of my crew, like a guard. Yeah. I would have chosen to save the noble boy just because it's. Like I feel like that life has more potential than the guard. True. In terms of the future.
True. I mean, the only thing that you can argue in that situation, I don't want to quite get too deep into this, but the fact of he should just let people know ahead of time of, okay, hey, regardless of what we do, we can try to save everybody, but we're not.
Right.
So here's who we're going after.
Right. And I think the other guards were pissed because it's like, oh, you are doing that because that will move you ahead. Like, you're going to get a favor and look good upon in the future, but, where does that leave us? But at the same time, they may not see where it's the greater good. Yeah. Like, that noble boy could do something crazy in the future. Like, he could be, I don't know, like, how noble he is, but what if he's, like, in line with the kings or something.
And what did he mean by the line, like, I don't take things that don't belong to me, and it looks like you don't belong to anyone?
Yeah, that was pretty smooth.
Because it sounded like it was going towards like you belong to him, but he said you belong to no one.
Right. I think he was just establishing that he knew she was married to Bash still, but that their marriage wasn't good, and so it like wasn't something that was or should be, at least in his mind, keeping them apart. And so he kind of put those cards on the table, which was kind of a bold move. Your court. Yeah, very bold move. But you know, if he did notice, kind of like sort of giving him the eyes, then you know that was a very clever play. I
mean, she did give him the eye, and as much as she may have tried to get information from Greer, I mean, Greer was very much honest. Hey, they just won over the monastery. They're here to celebrate. He's done nothing. He's just buying everyone champagne and getting them the goods. Yeah, and that's it. And so,
she basically set him up just as like the perfect bad boy. Just Kenna, don't fall for him. Like, he's just buying everybody champagne and had a massive victory.
Yeah, but he himself is not doing anything.
Yeah,
so that you get the best of both worlds, the bad boy, but with respect. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see where that goes, and we've spent a lot of time talking about them. So let's move on to Lady Lola. Not necessarily a lot there, but certainly a little spark between her and Narcisse. To the point that
always yes. It was great to see her again. We haven't had much of Lola in a while, and again she's the voice of reason. Even when she was talking to Mary, and she was like, you know, I know that you think you love Conde, but a lot of crazy stuff has happened.
Yeah.
You know, you were, like, he was very comforting. Yes. Could there be, you know, another, like, let's assess the situation for what it is, which was awesome. You know, I think she may have gotten caught up in emotions and stuff. And we obviously have talked a lot about Mary's character sort of falling away from her responsibilities in France specifically and focusing more on the ones in Scotland and with her relationship with Conde, obviously falling out of love with Francis. I mean, take that for what it is. But in terms of her responsibilities that she married into being with France.
Yeah.
Not necessarily with Francis, but France.
But France, the country.
The country, yeah. She kind of put that lower on her list of priorities.
I still feel like Lola, because, you know, her and Narcisse, she's always going to have, I feel like she's going to be able to give information to Narcisse in some sort of way, and he's just going to be able to pull it.
Right.
When it's least convenient for Mary, possibly. But then also you have Catherine, who knows of this relationship, and poor Edmund, you know, he gets talked into, hey, tell me what you saw. And she does it cleverly, like, hey, if Lola was your girl, would you be jealous?
Yeah.
Says, yes. I'd want him dead. So those are not good words for Narcisse, especially who just left Catherine's royal bed.
I know. He's everywhere.
Yeah. But he didn't, I mean, I think, obviously, they've had their thing, and Narcisse is after power. Does he actually love Lola? Like, do we see them together? Or obviously he's with Catherine because Catherine is.
Yeah, I don't think that Narcisse loves anyone. It's like or is in love with anyone. To put it a little bit more specifically.
I mean, Catherine's a conquest because she's, you know, of her status.
Right. She's they're both respectable people of, well, not the community, but but like of the game. Mm-hmm. And you know, I think that they see themselves sort of as equals. They both have mutually beneficial relationships and sort of both stand to gain from an alliance with each other. And you know, I think they're both like too old for sort of the, like, just playing like the nonsense, you know, like
well, that's where I think with Lola, this is a person that he can't really have. Not because of her, not because of anything else. So I like that. But going back to Catherine and Narcisse, I don't know if it's a word, but power sex.
It is. Well, it's a thing now.
It is a thing now. I mean, you know, hey, if you're out there and you're over the age of 18, play.
Yeah,
have some
they
fun with
remind
this.
me of just politicians, like just power politicians, just getting like legislation signed by sleeping together.
Yeah,
Which may happen. I don't know. It's a very like House of Cards-y way to think about it, but
I mean, he said, you know, like, hey, I don't want to spoil anything yet, right, with the whole troops, and when he was talking about how having 2 generals and solutions for various things, it was like, hey, I can't satisfy you that quickly. You know, it's got to hold off for a little bit. No, it's just so
But
sexual.
yeah, at the same time, we were talking a lot about, you know, Bash's responsibilities and how it's so intense, like it consumes all of his time. I feel similarly with these characters. I mean, they have so much on their plate. Catherine obviously has known the Queen's life and how taxing that is. They don't honestly have time for like a real relationship, so they kind of, you know, take pleasure as it comes. Like it is sort of more casual that way, but it's like whatever, you know, they're not really. I don't know if Narcisse has ever been married, but obviously Catherine has, and she's clearly not looking for another marriage. So it's just like what, like, you know,
Certainly, I don't. That
just
one
gotta get
actually
it in sometimes.
There you have it. So, all right, and Greer's doing well. We didn't see Lath today,
We did not.
but I feel like he's going to come back, and that's all there really is to Greer. I don't know if he's doing well.
She's doing business is good. Business is very
booming.
good. She has like a almost like castle size abode set up,
Yeah,
and it's very well decorated. I mean, she didn't have the right drapes clearly, but
she's running.
she's got them now.
A very well established facility.
She does,
You know, I feel like
and word has spread. I mean, one victory battle. Where else would they go? Boom, Greer's.
that's it. That's it. Is that
Greer's
that's the
house,
sign at the
yeah.
outside?
Greer's
Oh,
having
man.
a party. Let's go.
All right, let's talk about the bulk of this episode. Conde, the monastery, Francis, Mary. Where to begin? Let's start with Francis.
Okay, Francis. I mean, Francis is objectively doing it as much as possible. Like he does get sidetracked from time to time with how he feels about Mary, how he feels about Conde, like as people because they hurt him so bad. I cannot blame him for that at all. But it's interesting that Mary is able to kind of balance him out a little bit and kind of almost get him to see the reasons of just being a guy, like in general, with Conde. They kind of rehumanizes him in his mind. Because at one point in time, Francis was like, Conde's done. He is toast. Like, I'm going to kill him. That's it. That is it. And, you know, she was just like, no, I cheated on you. That's my fault. That's on me. Don't blame him for that. He's just being a guy. And then Francis was like, yeah, well,
I don't think any
touche.
guy would just accept
Touche.
that. But
right, I'm not saying that that's like bearing his feelings completely, but it definitely allowed Conde to live. He was just like, okay, like
for the moment, I mean, you know,
for the moment.
with this, I'm very upset more and more at Mary because she has the option. You know, here I don't understand why you fell out of this with Francis. You know, because the reasons there for me are non-existent. He was a good guy. You know, he's always supporting, like all these things that you got from Conde, you've been getting from Francis too. And so it's not like he didn't cause any of this. And so to bring him harm, it just still makes me angry at Mary, unfortunately. And as much as I like Conde, he made some bad decisions tonight, and they were also stupid. They cost him a lot, as well as Mary. And for that, I don't know if I can forgive him.
So you're off Team Conde, huh?
Yeah,
Not that necessarily.
I was never,
but yeah,
you know.
but
So-
officially against the Conde.
Because at that point, he was grasping at straws, you know. Mary said, hey, we can fix this. And I believe Francis would have helped. And Conde made a big decision, and he said, no, you know what? Let me get married, and let me go. And because it's best for me.
Interesting. I mean, I think it was a quick move. Like, he was heartbroken and was like acted rashly. However, I can't really blame Conde completely because I don't know. I feel like it was such a bad situation for him to give up, you know, the rest of his life, or sort of the best next case scenario. I don't know if like I'd be able to do that. Like, say you get out of, like, if there's a really bad situation, that kind of blinds you to the fact that, you know, there might be an option C, D, E,
Yeah.
you know, like beyond.
I mean, here's the thing. I don't think he had many options. He really didn't, right?
Right.
And we've sort of talked about this. Like, where was he? What was the logic there? What was going to happen?
Right.
Even best case scenario with Mary.
Yeah, the next option was become king of England. Like, that's pretty good option. It's pretty good plan B. in my book.
And you know, if he didn't want that, right? Obviously, he told Mary the truth, so I'm that's fine, you know, in the moment. However, things were set in motion.
Yeah.
So for him, okay, however heartbroken he may be feeling, it wasn't that it just came out of the blue. Yes, you know, Acre came and he saw him, but things were already in motion to make this happen. So a lot of people had to do a lot of things to, you know, I mean, we had a proxy ready to go. So it's not like,
Yeah, the whole
okay, give me a couple of
thing
weeks
was
to
like,
put this
whoa.
together.
Yeah, just no, right now. Yeah, no, I mean, it was a very, like, the definition of a shotgun wedding. Like, the bride didn't even make it, literally.
Oh my goodness, the pun there. Did you think it was going to be Queen Elizabeth for a moment?
I did. I mean, it was super abrupt. I thought it was. I mean, I hadn't really known about the whole proxy situation, so I wasn't expecting that. I guess
was
I
not
didn't.
either.
I didn't see a possible twist coming, so that caught me off guard for sure.
I knew I mean, it seemed very, very fast, even if, like, okay, let's do it. You know, to get from there to England, and the way the show's always done it, I don't think that that would have been the first time we've seen that leap of a time jump.
Right.
You know, literally within, like, the same, from one scene to the next.
The only, I guess what convinced me more was the fact that it would have expanded the world so much, and I wanted that. Like, I know they kind of backpedaled a little bit with the fire, Annabelle dying, and possibly this whole marriage proxy thing being annulled. But, you know, I wanted it to be bigger. Like, I wanted another kingdom, like maybe even a new set of characters. Obviously, we are getting a season 3. What a perfect setup to have him actually go to England and have these, like, 2 kingdoms, like, fighting.
Here's
and,
what I
like,
realized.
all of the mess in between.
You know, these battles are, I mean, this show's, for what it is, you're doing a period piece, so there's, like, you have to do the costumes and things like that, and so something has to give, right? Just even from time reasons. And so to do multiple locations is very tough, especially if you're going to do 2 casts. That's a lot. And that's why, you know, I can forgive the battle scenes.
Hollywood magic.
Yeah,
Vancouver?
Canadian. Yeah. The battle scenes, you know, they're not necessarily always up to par. It is what it is. You know, again, partly due to time, and so to expand that into there, I don't think it worked. And so and partly too, you know, maybe it just took me this long, but I had a revelation of, like, you know what, in order for our target audience and us to really care about this, they have to humanize everything. And so to be in the trenches of a war, you know, as cool as it would be maybe for you and I and maybe Keaton, I think the majority of the audience likes this, and ultimately we do too. So but yeah, I mean, would it be fun to see Elizabeth? Yes, but right off the bat, like, she doesn't want you, so you don't get to see her. Your life is in danger. You're screwed.
Yeah, I can't believe that he just. Who do you think's behind all this? Like, because he could have gotten played pretty hard. I mean,
I mean, obviously it could be Acre and Queen Elizabeth, but I don't quite know what she has to gain. Besides just, you know, I mean, one of the benefits is you now create turmoil within France, because it's like now they know that pretty much France could be uprooted based on Protestants versus Catholics, and you know that people are already plotting treason, so he's not necessarily going to be the first. I don't know. That could be enough of what she wanted. And I don't know who in the right. We talked about Narcisse and we talked about Catherine. One of them could very well be involved. I don't know because I don't know who to trust about what.
Right.
And I think they kind of admitted that it wasn't any of them. But how am I to know?
I mean, Catherine, obviously she has spies everywhere, but she knew very fast. She obviously spread the word to Francis very quickly. You know, they set up that whole monastery thing.
With the seal.
With the seal. Could they have taken it a step forward? I mean, I'm pretty sure they can. The only thing is that I don't know if Catherine has revealed. She may have known, but hasn't shown that she knew Mary had Conde had made contact with Elizabeth and was sort of courting England.
Yeah, we don't have that. One of the things that kind of got forgotten was Mary wrote a letter. And it was supposed to go to Conde.
Right.
Right?
Saying that he was safe here in France.
Yeah. And we don't know what happened with that. Because, you know, it was very much made a point of it gets delivered to him. Don't stop off at the whorehouses. Right. I just put that in. But obviously. And
that's what she was implying.
Yeah. And so.
By no stops. No, it was interesting because I expected that to sort of Conde to get married, have it be actually final, and then he gets the letter that says, you know, you're you're safe in France, I love you, or whatever.
As he sleeps next to the proxy,
right? Or just you know, after it's final, and then it's like, oh my God, did I make the right decision? Sort of just like a just missed you scenario. But we didn't see it. Maybe next episode it'll come in.
Well, sir, you know, I don't want to quite get into it just yet, but so let's talk about the monastery because it plays into multitude of things. One, obviously, it's we're getting the rebels again, and it's a direct cause of Mary's decision to send troops to Scotland, 2,000 of them when they couldn't necessarily spare them, and it's one of those things that. It was not because of who involved. Just having Conde at court already sends a bad message. And so then with the plans of the seal, now it furthers that. And that hasn't quite come to full fruition because right now the marriage overtook any of that. So, but I'm sure that will be used as evidence in the trial or whatever they're going to do in this court.
Right. Yeah, I just wonder what is going to happen with Conde now.
It's not going to be good.
It's not going to be good. They sort of had a joke with the, the Greer, Lola, and Kenna early in the episode about how it was kind of like a Real Housewives moment where they're just like, well, you know, I'm divorced, she's got a baby, you're a madam, like, you know. Who cares? Like, we are who we are. Like,
women's power.
Right. It was a very empowerment moment. But it was also acknowledging their place in life sort of as, you know, maybe they have regrets, their decision-makings, where they are. You know, Conde definitely, I feel like, can join that toast. He's almost ruined. For the moment, at least, it seems he completely did wrong by Mary. I can't see him being welcomed back in court.
But Mary, and you could say he's not going to argue that Mary did wrong by him. She did not want to leave for Scotland.
True. But I mean, I don't know.
Obviously,
I feel like she will not see. I don't know. If I was Mary, it would be hard to convince that, you know, just because of the timeline, how quickly he went to. I'm marrying Queen Elizabeth. You know, it was like a day. It was like that afternoon.
Yeah, but she wasn't. I don't know. She wasn't going to know that. It was one of those things, and yeah, the whole monastery thing I thought was a great sort of setup. You know, to propel this triangle forward, And, you know, I mean, we're pretty much at predictions with this because a lot of it's just going to deal with, like, what's going to happen with Conde, right?
Let's do it.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So what's going to happen with Conde? Conde, you know, we see in the preview that he's going to be taken away. Now, are they going to hang him right away? I feel like he's going to live for at least another episode. Can't quite kill him just yet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they can maybe kill him until the finale, or maybe the episode.
I don't think it has to be the finale.
Yeah,
I think something big still can happen in the finale, but I think this will be like the second.
Right, he's been a very pivotal character, and sort of.
So was Narcisse, and I thought we'd kill him too.
Right,
but we didn't.
He's still around. Well, I mean, with his innuendos, he can't get rid of a character without bringing like another Narcisse in.
Yeah.
Or hopefully they can, because he definitely makes it pretty enjoyable as a show. I like to root for Narcisse just because he is who he is. Conde, though, I mean, I feel like his character doesn't have a whole lot of places to go now that like the cat's out of the bag.
Yeah, I feel bad for him in many ways because he is very much alone. However, it still has always been his decisions.
True.
And he was forewarned of all of this. And you know, Mary.
He even said, "Mary, you told me again and again." Like
That's
can't.
true. That's true. And it's just interesting. They're both kind of taking the blame upon themselves. And I like how Mary summarizes it. We knew it would be difficult.
Yes.
Is that what it was going to be?
Yes. Oh, it's going to be hard.
You know, this isn't a long distance relationship thing in 2015. This is a major political drama.
You are queen having an affair. Yeah. No, that's saying it lightly. I think that'd
be like a woman from Palestine and someone from there.
Right. I guess the craziest thing is just how intense things get for people that are so young. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, they actually were, you know, young adults and dealing with this stuff. So, like, obviously they can have attractions with other people. You know, it would just be crazy if, you know, I was in that situation having to deal with so much responsibility at such a young age.
You know what we don't know is quite we have a lot of fan interaction, but very rarely do we take calls. And so I wanna open up the opportunity with whoever we got on the line.
Let's do it.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
What?
Hi.
Hi.
How are you? What'd you think of tonight's Reign episode?
I literally just got done watching it because I'm in Florida and I DVR'd it.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
But I thought it was pretty crazy. It was really intense.
Yeah.
It was good.
What was your favorite part? And what's your name, by the way? I didn't even ask you.
My name's Amber.
Amber, nice.
Welcome to the show. What was your favorite part?
Honestly, I think I liked the end when Olivia kind of snapped. I think.
Fair enough.
I love when she
enjoyed
goes
the
a little
mayhem.
crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. So what do you think is going to happen with the whole Conde, Mary, Francis situation?
I don't really know. I don't really like to predict, so I like to see what they throw at me.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of just like blank after I watch it, and I wait until it starts again.
Fair enough.
Just taking it all in. No, I feel the same way. I'm sort of shell-shocked that it all went down the way that it did. I mean, there's a lot of twists and turns. They opened up this whole can of worms and then sort of closed it again. So,
Yeah.
you know, like, it was very intense stuff.
All right. Well, thank you for calling in. That's, ladies and gentlemen, that's Amber.
Amber, yes.
Until next week. All right. We don't have Castle Corner today, but hey, you know, Keaton's like stagecoach, and I wish I had known. I would have prepared something, but you know what? We'll do something really special for the last 3 episodes. How's that sound, ladies and gentlemen?
Nice. I like that.
You know, which started
The
off.
fans want Castle Corner.
You know
I'm
what? What
saying.
started off as just like this tiny little thing. Now it's become like the
It's
big.
expected, yeah.
Yeah, it's expected, and you know, I obviously want to deliver that to you guys, but I want to find the right castle.
No, I appreciate that. Don't please take the time to give quality over quantity.
We should. I want to do a montage because we've done some really good castles. We've done some in America. We've done some in like Germany, some in England, all over the
We
place.
should have just an after show based off castles.
Well,
around
we
the
haven't done
world.
any like. You know what? Here's what we're gonna do.
Spin off.
Let's do something from Imperial Japan or something like that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Let's
we haven't gone there
change
yet.
Cultural. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, so next week, something from Imperial Japan we'll talk about in
Nice.
Castle Corner. So
Excellent.
a lot to look forward to. But yeah, we do have to wrap because I got to get JB to his wedding with the proxy.
I do. I'm late. Happy birthday again, Fania.
Let's hope
Don't
she's
go
not getting
crazy in
married yet.
Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah,
You should not get married in Vegas.
Fania, don't get married.
Fania.
All right,
Hashtag Fania, don't get married in Vegas.
JB_Zimmerman, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
I don't know Keaton's, but it's like Keaton
I think it's just-
M33.
Yeah. That sounds
That
right.
sounds right. If it's
go
not,
with it.
double check. At AfterBuzz TV, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. 3 more episodes of Reign left. We'll see you here for all of them. And don't forget, subscribe, rate, and comment. Very important to comment because if you don't, we don't know your thoughts.
Don't.
So we like to know your thoughts. See you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.